I want to apologize ahead of time, guys, if this is a little bit long. I'm going to try to fit both cones and cylinders into one video as opposed to doing separate videos. And then later this week, we'll add a video on how to find the volume of spheres. And then next week, we're going to be getting into surface area. So for most part, this is, for most of you guys, this is a review on how to find the volume of cylinders. First, let's talk about volume. What is volume? Volume has to do with how much can you fit inside of something. So usually we're looking at a 3D object. Take a can of soup. That's a 3D object. How much soup is inside of that can? That's the volume. Swimming pool. How much water can fit inside the pool? That we'd be talking about volume. A tank. How much can fit inside the tank? We're talking volume. So anytime we're talking about how much of something fits inside, that's volume. All right? We're looking today at cylinders and cones. In order to solve or to find the volume, there's a formula that we must use, so we're going to follow. The formula for cylinder, we'll use V equals capital BH. And for cylinder, V equals capital BH divided by 3. Now, if a cone and a cylinder have the same base and the same height, we can fit 3 cones into that cylinder. And that's why the volume for a cone is the same as cylinder, but we divide it by 3. Because we only have 1 cone, not 3 cones. The formulas, the V stands for volume, the B stands for the area of the base. In both cylinders and cones, we'll be using circles as your area of the base. So to find the area of a circle, we use pi r squared. And the H refers to the height. And the height connects the 2 bases, right? The top and the bottom in a cylinder, and in a cone, the bottom and then the top of the cone. So that would be referred to the height. So here's the 2 shapes. Here is your cylinder. So you see we have 2 bases. This is the height connecting the tops and the bases. Here's my circle. We need to find the area of this base. This is called the diameter. A line that goes through the center from one edge to the other. We don't want the diameter though. We want to know the radius. So we're using pi r squared. So if they give us the diameter, we need to cut that number in half so that we're working with the radius. Here we see the cone. We have a base. Again, it's a circular base. So we're using pi r squared to find the area of that base. So here you see half of a diameter refers to the radius. So if the diameter is 12, the radius is half of that. The radius is 6. And again, the height connecting the base to the top of the cone. All right, let's do some problems. You're really going to need a calculator to do this, guys. So I'm going to have my calculator around. I always suggest as we begin, first thing I'm going to do is to highlight my bases. Excuse me, write my formula. What kind of shape is this? This is a cylinder. So we're going to use capital V equals capital BH. I'm going to write down the letters, capital B and H. And then I have to solve for each of these. Well, the formula for area base is pi r squared. You can see here I have a diameter of 12. I want to use radius, so half of 12 is 6. So we're going to use pi 6 squared. And then my height connecting the 2 bases is 14. So in my calculator, I'm going to square 6 first. That's 36. And then I'm going to multiply that times pi. We're just going to use 3.14. And that's 113.04. And for this instance, let's just round to we'll wait to the end to round. And then I'm going to take these numbers and put them back into the formula. So V equals 113.04 times, they're together, so it's a multiplication process, 14. So 113.04 times 14 is 1582.56. We're going to round to the nearest tenth, so we'll say 0.6. 1582.6. Typically, these would be like, let's say these are the inches. So we would say this would be 1582 cubic inches. So you'll see, if you see a little 3 right there, that's helping you understand that that's volume. We're talking about cubic. It's a 3D object, 3-dimensional. That's why we'll see that 3. So 1582.6. So it's real simple. Got to find the values. Looking at the cylinder, what are the values I'm working with? Plug those values into my formula, and then solve for the area, solve for the height, multiply them two together, and I'm going to get my volume. Let's say that they gave us the volume and they give us the height. Let's say they give us the height of, say, 20, and they give us the volume. Let's say it's 650. So they say the volume of a cylindrical tank is 650 with a height of 20. Solve for the diameter. They want us to find the diameter of a cylindrical tank that has a volume of 650 and a height of 20. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is write down my formula. The formula is volume equals capital BH. Well, let me fill in the things that I do know. I know volume. So 650 equals, I do not know the area of the base. H. So the area of the base, H. Well, let's think. Well, H here, sorry, I do know the height is 20. Well, what aspects of the area of the base do I know? Right? Pi r squared. I don't know the radius, but I can work with pi. So 650 equals pi r squared times 20. Now I'm just going to use inverse operations to solve for the radius. Once I find the radius, I can find the diameter. This is all multiplication. So I'm going to divide by 20. Cancel these two out. So 650 divided by 20 is 32.5. So now I have 32.5 equals pi r squared. Now I'm going to divide by pi. Cancel those two out. So 32.5. Again, let's just use 3.14 divided by 3.14 equals 10.35. So now I have 10.35 equals r squared. Well, I need to find the radius, r. To find the radius, again, I'm going to use inverse operations. Inverse of squaring is to find the square root. So I'm going to find the square root of 10.35. 10. That is 3.21. So the radius is 3.2. Well, they're asking me to find the diameter. Well, I know the diameter is twice the radius. So if the radius is 3.2, diameter is twice that. I'm going to multiply times 2. It's 3.2 times 2. So the diameter of this cylindrical tank is 6.5, 6.4. Right? So again, if we know the formula for the volume, so whatever information that they give us, we'll plug that information into the formula and then solve for the piece that we do not know, or the piece that they're asking us for. Plug them in, use inverse operations, divide down, until we get to the point at which we find the value for what they want us to find. In this case, we needed to find the radius, in order to find the diameter. Real simple. If they give us the diameter and they want us to find the height, same thing, right? I'd put in volume equals pi, whatever the radius was, 5 squared times h. Square 5, 25, divide to find h. Right? So we have a cone. So the formula for the cone, I'm going to follow the same steps. I'll highlight my base. Highlight my base. And write down my formula. The formula is volume equals capital B H divided by 3. I'm going to write down my letters, capital B H. Height is 9. Area of the base is pi r squared. The radius here is 3, so I have pi 3 squared. So 3 squared is 9, so I'm going to multiply again. Just use 3.14 times 3.14. It's 28.26. Guys, it's really important to make sure that you're using the radius. One of the biggest mistakes that students are going to make is you're going to use the diameter. You're going to use whatever number they give you down there for the base. So if they're giving you a line that goes all the way across, that's the diameter. you have to find the radius before you can begin the problem, which would be, again, dividing by 2. So please be careful with that. All right, so I have 28.26 times 9. Let's plug these back into the formula. 28.26 times 9 divided by 3. So I'm going to multiply those two together. 28.26 times 9. That's 254.34. And now I'm going to divide, not by 9, sorry. I'm dividing by 3. So divide that by 3. And that gives me 84.78. Let's round to the nearest tenth, so we'll say 84.8. So the volume of this cone is 84.8. Let's say that these were, I don't know, meters. Then that would be cubic meters. That's a really big cone. If those are meters, that's a really big cone, guys. So again, real simple. I'm just writing down my formula, plugging in the information that I know, and then just using the calculator, multiplying through, making sure that I follow the steps from the formula. Listen, I want to show you guys one more. What if they asked me to find they gave me a tank, and they asked me to find, or they gave me a cylinder, but they only gave me half a cylinder. This looks almost like a pan that we might bake something in. So if they give you a cylinder, but they only give you half the cylinder, and they ask you to find the volume for that half that cylinder, or half a tank. So again, what we're going to do, I'm going to shade my bases. Write down my formula. This is a cylinder, so the formula is volume, capital BH, capital B and H, pi r squared. Height, 15, right? Connecting the two bases. Height 15. R, my radius is 5, right? Half the circle. So pi 5 squared. So 5 squared is 25 times 3.14. We're going to use for pi, 78.5. So I'm going to take these two values, put them back into the formula. 78.5 times 15. 78.5 times 15. That equals 1177.5. Now, again, this is half a cylinder. This is the formula to find the volume of a whole cylinder. So if we only have a half a cylinder, we're going to have to divide this by 2, right? So divide that by 2. 588.75. So the volume of that half a cylinder, or that half a tank, will be 588.75. Again, let's just assume we're talking inches. Cubic inches, cubic feet, cubic meters, cubic centimeters, whatever. All right? Guys, so that's how we're going to find volume. Again, just a quick review for you if you're having some issues or having some troubles. Good luck, and we'll see you soon.